doors. You can call us on 0807 777 9927. You can call in, or you can send a message as well on WhatsApp. 24 schoolgirls that were abducted from government girls' secondary school in Maga, Danko, Wasagu local government area of Kebbi State have been rescued. Bayo Naniga confirmed on Tuesday, said the President Tinubu commended the security agencies for securing the students' freedom and directed intensified operations to rescue any remaining hostages as the government plans to deploy more personnel to vulnerable areas to prevent further kidnappings and provide all necessary support for ongoing security efforts, while authorities continue to strengthen security measures to prevent similar attacks and safeguard students in high-risk regions. This also goes back to, well, we're happy this has happened, but this also goes back to the rescued 38 Eruku people as well. What exactly is going on? We have not heard about any arrests. We have not heard about any videos or anything about this rescue operations. And, we just hear that they've been rescued. How did they go about it? Was there ransom payment? Or apparently, was it Uwerunonye that said that there was no ransom that was paid? So how did they come about the rescue?
In fact, the Kebbi State governor came out and said, well, no ransom was paid. Not one kobo was paid. And it begs to, the question, what happened? Were they rescued?
Or were they released?
Because those are two different things.
Exactly.
You see, I think those are legitimate posers, really. Considering our experience in this part of the world, where we rarely see acts of rescues happen often. But usually when abductees come back from the kidnappers' den, it is always a case of ransom being paid. That is what we are used to. But I want to look at the situation that we have right now. It's really high stake, and there is another... there is an unknown quantity, there is an unknown entity that is within the mix right now, which is global attention. Let's forget that. I took time to listen to Bayo Onanuga's interview on Arise TV with Aniagolu. And, I looked, dispassionately. You see, on paper, ordinarily, when you talk of military, security, police strategy and things like that, what Bayo Onanuga said is quite plausible. You understand? Not because it's coming from the side of the government, simply because we are used to negative stories, and we've seen a lot of poor records from the side of security. So we tend to look at most of what federal government does, with the eyes of a mediocre. You understand? But like I said, you see, we are operating under a different scenario entirely. And somehow, I have this feeling that I believe the bandits and their handlers are beginning to see that the current president is not a pushover. He's not your average Muhammadu Buhari or Goodluck Jonathan.
No, I would take it. I would need to just take back those statements. These are former presidents.
No, the former president. They are former presidents, I know. They are former presidents, but is it no two people can be the same?
But not in the light of pushovers. They were human. They did what they could do to their best.
Okay. It's not an insult when I say apparently let's not sugarcoat this. It was clear that in the case of Goodluck Jonathan, he was browbeaten, both at home and abroad. There is no sugarcoating it. Even he himself said it. You understand? The case of Muhammadu Buhari was that he was encircled. He didn't know what he was doing. That's the simple truth. But with the kind of mix we have right now, it's far more... I think it's far more complex. You see, when you have used the same techniques over and over again, at some point, somebody is going to get, okay, so this is where you are going. You understand? So what I was trying to get at is that I think that there was a back channel talk with the bandits and their handler. That, look, come. You see, this is no longer about Nigeria. You understand? This is no longer about Nigeria. You are having it easy because we know there will be collateral damage. But you see, when these guys comes, there will be no collateral damage. It will be clinical and, and of course they will remember what Ibn Balo did when he was in the South African, mercenary. Of course, they have a history of what the man did. It was so effective. You understand? So you see, we cannot deny that a lot of things has.
All right, Nicholas, please hold on.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Danielle and Nicholas.
Yeah.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
My name is Dr. Msante calling from Ilorin.
Dr. Msante from Ilorin. Please go ahead with your comment.
I want to comment on the headline on NTS commending the head government to invest more on the health sector.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
As the status quo on our health insurance, that 90% of Nigerians pay out of pocket to access healthcare system in the country, unlike Obamacare and Trump RX have seen in the U.S. That number has further been widened with the recent ongoing strike. Only 10% of Nigerians are on our health insurance. What am I trying to say? With the ongoing strike, that gap is going to further widen because even the health insurance, the bulk of the health insurance is provided by the public hospitals and government-owned hospitals. The few are provided by our private hospitals, which are driven, and that would put more pressure on our GDP. Because even that POS guy operating at a stand making 10,000 naira per day, and the corrupt driver making 10,000 naira per day, and the Marwa guy making 5 day to the bank, will no longer be able to make that amount. So the NTS on the federal government invest more in the health sector is a right step in the right direction. Now on the issue of insecurity, there is also a headline that says that over 40 scores of bandits have been seen approaching Lele community in Ilorin. You know, Adedayo and Danielle, some of us we have a daughter, and anytime we sleep and see that, is it how one day our daughter is going to be kidnapped in school? Mm-hmm. It bothers us a lot.
It's frightening.
Hello?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes, there are clear signs that the insecurity that is worsening in the country is being coordinated by enemies of the state. Because you can see that the insecurity become worse following the federal government and military face-off. There's also a video circulating online of officials supplying arms to the bad guys in the bush. There's also a statement that the troops that were sent to Kebbi, the secondary school in Kebbi, they withdrew their troops few minutes before the bandit attack. Also, there's a statement that has been made by the opposition members undermining the capability of the incumbent government in handling insecurity in the country. So therefore, the presidency ordering for more surveillance and the law enacting a law to punish any government negotiating bandit is not enough. There should be a round-table meeting with the sacked army generals. There should be wiretapping of opposition leaders now that there is a deal between us and the U.S. government, so that we can afford any of these bad guys sponsoring the bandits.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Could it be
Doctor.
that somebody is making a manifesto, building up his manifesto against 2027?
Mm-hmm. All right. Our time is...
So it's some...
The 1 minute is up, Doctor. The 1 minute is up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, Doctor.
Thank you for your
And we
comment.
need to give others a chance to join in the conversation as well, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he made a lot of points, within that just 1 minute, intervention. I don't want to go into the health package thing because it's going to really, but these are valid points about the need for us to have, a social security safeguard, for Nigerians. But my concern is just like he rightly said, that, okay, we have a call.
No. Go ahead, please.
Okay. That rightly our operations militarily, in terms, even in intelligence, hasn't been top notch in the handling of the bandits. You understand? And I keep on saying certain things that people might find a little bit conflicting. When I say you have medical on the one hand and you have effective that is intelligence gathering on the other. And what I mean is that you see the DSS. The Nigerian DSS is one of the most effective, security agencies within West Africa. That is in terms of anything that is happening in Nigeria, the DSS knows. You understand? But you see, that is one thing. What a lot of people don't understand is that, you see, the DSS is just an intelligence gathering body. You understand? It is meant to just gather. Okay.
Hold on. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Adeyemi and I'm coming from Zango.
All right, Taye, please can you turn off your radio so we can have a good conversation, please?
Actually, I think
Please turn off your radio.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead now.
Yeah, I think it will be hard to believe that no ransom was paid for the captives that were released, in as much as the government is making us believe otherwise. And I think the way out for President Tinubu is, funny enough, we have past generals, we have a past head of states, past presidents who are still living, people like Obasanjo, people like Ibrahim Babangida, I think the president needs the advice of some of these past leaders to come to a round table, seek advice from them, and see how in the past they were able to tackle this problem of insurgency. There's no gainsaying that he's doing his best. But ultimately, it seems the best is not good enough. So I think he needs to seek advice, especially from somebody like Obasanjo, on how to tackle this problem of insurgency. I just hope that God will save Nigeria. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your contribution this morning.
Yeah, well, good intervention. Experiences is very, counts a lot, especially at this time. And I think it will be foolhardy for President Tinubu to ignore whatever advice comes his way, especially from past head of state. But we must equally try to understand something, which is that, you see, what we are seeing today did not just start yesterday. It started from even right under the noses of these guys we were mentioning, And you see, this was, I was just building up to the case, that I was making, that, you see, the DSS, it's it has a highly coordinated intelligence gathering network. I can tell you the beginning of this bandit. If you want them to give you a historiology of how it all started, where it started from, they will give you at every point that you are supposed to intervene. That but you see, what they are meant to do is just to gather the intelligence, pass it to relevant agencies who are supposed to deal with it, and wait for, orders from the, commander-in-chief. But you see, when there is an absence of political will to deal with that problem, you understand, there is absolutely nothing the DSS or the military can do. Now, you see, we've had it over times and times again that you even see some, soldiers, military officers coming up virally saying that, look, give us the order. Give us the order. So that is what I meant. They know exactly where these people are. Yep. Now, in fact, there was a video. There was a video of, some of those Kebi, that I was watching this morning, where they said that the bandits were asking them on a very video.
Did they see the number of jets flying, hovering around?
They knew where they were. You understand? So they knew where they were. So you see, the thing is, in fact, all you just need, if you don't want to use drone, is just satellite imaging, thermal imaging. That's all. You understand? You see, the military operation has so developed that just thermal imaging of humans, the moment it's a military officer sees it, you understand, he knows the formation of military. He knows military formation or people or just group of headers that are just moving. So you can tell the difference. You can tell from the clustering where the so-called where the abductees are and things like that. There are people who can read all these things. You understand? See, I'm just a layman. What I'm saying is just with benefit of having interviewed people over the years, haven't read up on reports, haven't read widely. But we are talking of people who have been in the thick of operations. You understand? So if I know this much, I know they know far, far, far more than I know. So you see, when you now do the exponential analysis, the answer that comes, to you is that, look, if these guys want to deal with this, they can deal with it.
So why don't they want to?
Like I said, the political will. But gradually, we'll have a call.
Yes, we do. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning
to you. What is your name and where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, Kenny calling from Tanking.
Kenny, please go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, recently, probably on Monday, we discussed about the same matter when we are highlighting about the abductees from Eruku being freed. And I guess on this same studio, the question was raised that how did it happen? What measure did the government took to bring these people out of their captivity? And I was listening to news yesterday, probably as we concerning the strike at Isakatu, the place in the Ekiti local government of Kwara State again. And I was asking myself, the same thing happened at Kebbi, and they said the 28 or 24 students have been freed. Now, you see, let's look at it from these three angles. We are not fools. These are kidnappers. They are people that don't reason like us. And some of us have had victims of kidnap before, and we interviewed. You see, I was talking with somebody yesterday from a reliable source, which I won't want to disclose yet. We know how much was paid for the freedom of those in Europe. And sincerely speaking, if you and I hear how much was paid for the freedom, it is more than what a director in a ministry, let me say, directors in a ministry will collect over their times in the ministry. And this is what was paid for the release of these people, but it won't be disclosed. But see, let's look at it from this angle again. You think a kidnapper will kidnap somebody and want to free the person freely? One of our victims of waiver, inside the story, they told the person, you think we are going to waste our bullet for free? We're not going to waste our bullet for free. Do you know how much a bullet costs? Do you know how much our guns cost? So which means you have to be paid for before you can be released. So government are telling us that nothing was being paid. No, hell no. Again, another way is, why was government paid? When foreign bodies, foreign nations, US for example, are on their neck, pressing their neck that Nigeria is a country of concern. Nigeria is a country of concern. It's a means of dialoguing with these people. See, put us away from this shame. What do you want? Between us. Let us settle this thing. So for government telling us that there's one person that is paid, okay, if they are telling us that we are not fools. But the truth is, government knows who these people are. Okay. Government knows where they are. Okay. But just as Nicola said, political will is what is killing us.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so very much.
Very good submission. As a matter of fact, you see, I'm only speaking as someone who, have sat at the head of a desk, vetting stories. What you are not sure of, you leave out. A monetary transaction is very difficult, especially when there are no money trail, to ascertain. Yes, everything suggests that some kind of money would have been given. Everything suggests that. But it would be foolhardy of federal government to just give that money without some guarantees. You see, that is where I have a problem.
So you believe now that some level of communication or conversation must have, Okay, now here's the question. Now, if you look at some of the Kebbi girls, right, and then you compare them to the Chibok girls, not the Chibok girls have returned. Now, so what didn't happen at that time, or what is happening now that didn't happen at that time?
They have a benefit of experience right now. Back then, you don't have that kind of experience. One fell with about 200 kids just taken, spirited away in, vanished into thin air. It was something, it was benumbing, everybody was in a daze. In fact, I recall, if you look at Fighting Corruption is Dangerous by Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, he was, in that book, she was recounting the conversation he had with President Goodluck Jonathan. I think she was in Spain when Goodluck Jonathan called. He said he sounded so tired and very weak. Then he told her that, look, I don't care what it costs. I want these kids back. That was what Jonathan told Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, So now, this was something new, something novel. It's never happened before. You understand? Then, of course, one of those things that led up to, the man talking in that form is that he later said that this same Boko Haram are in his government. You understand? They have penetrated him, Then apart from that, there were correspondences to the state governor, who is currently the vice president right now, that all schools within that vicinity should be shut down and WAEC should be done at the state capital, which he ignored. WAEC equally wrote to the state government that, look, we cannot conduct this WAEC here. These are documented facts. It's all over the places. You understand? So, for that to now happen, you understand, despite all, of course, you can see the kind of quandary. That was why I said he was browbeaten. At that point, who would he turn to? Who would he turn to? So that was
the commander-in-chief.
He was the commander-in-chief. You can only use force when you have.
If he did say to Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala that I don't care what it takes, I want the girls back. You were commander-in-chief. Then it says a whole lot.
No. What it says, let me for clarity. That kind of order, if it were to the chief of army staff or defense staff, you are talking of a martial order. But to the head of economy,
I understand.
You understand? It's about we need resources, we need money. If you have to pay ransom that is the interpretation for me. So that is that. But apparently, you see, it appeared as what is happening now. That was the tests. That was the first test.
Nicholas, can we say, because it's all about Nigerians have woken up to the understanding of ransom money being exchanged. Can we date it back to the Niger Delta period?
Of course. Now, the Niger Delta thing, let me give you something I had, while I was doing a conflict reporting training, by a clinical psychologist. You see, those money that were being paid, they weren't even collecting naira. That's what a lot of Nigerians don't know. They were kidnapping foreigners. You understand? They were collecting dollars. You understand? That money was used to buy arms. Because to access the sea, that was, those were some of the things you learned at that time. It was essentially about making it, not really to kill them.
All right.
You understand?
So, Nicholas, I think we have a couple of comments that we need to take at this point.
No, let's take them. Dr. Mrs. Omar Libar from Wiri says, in the life of any nation, there comes crucial moments when leaders take decisive actions aimed at salvaging their people from impending doom. Nigeria needs purging. Nigeria will thrive when we begin to care about who governs us, how we're governed, and hold them accountable. It will thrive when we choose them by value and question their character and pedigree. Nigerians are getting disgusted and disappointed the way things are going. We can't continue this way. Another message, pretty lengthy. The recent interview granted by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Nadiga, has further exposed the uncomfortable truth that the issue of banditry and kidnapping in Nigeria runs far deeper than many citizens understand. It is troubling to hear that the military reportedly knows the location of the bandits' enclaves, but is constrained from acting due to fears of collateral damage involving civilians held hostage. In an age of advanced technology, precision operations and modern intelligence systems, it is surprising that our military operations are still being limited to the use of bombs and firearms. Are we saying that there are no alternative strategies, such as sedation-based interventions, precision extractions, or other specialized tactics that could neutralize these criminals without harming innocent citizens? While Mr. Onadiga's explanation reflects his PR background and the information available to him, Nigerians are not convinced that this represents the full operational reality. Our military has a long history of expertise, courage, and innovation. It is hard to believe that groups of bandits, poorly trained and poorly equipped, are more sophisticated or more intelligent than the Nigerian armed forces, unless something within the system is not being fully addressed or fully deployed. The truth is, the Nigerians do not yet understand the full limitations confronting our forces, and this communication gap fuels doubt, frustration, and fear. What is clear, however, is that banditry and kidnapping have become more lucrative and more widespread than ever before. Families live in constant fear, businesses are destabilized, and communities are being emptied by force and fear. It is time for Nigeria to decide once and for all whether it truly wants to bring an end to this crisis. A nation of over 200 million people with one of Africa's strongest militaries should not be held hostage by criminal gangs operating freely across forests and highways. Banditry must be confronted decisively through intelligence-driven operations, modern technology, coordinated security reforms, and political will. If not, the country may gradually drift towards a state of restricted movement and insecurity far worse than what we imagine today. May Nigeria never reach that point.
All right.
Ilorin it's a different
Thank you. Nicholas, let me just ask you, so our time is really, really running out. I think it's becoming established that the locations and the hideouts is known.
Well known.
All right. Now, we're hearing statements and different statements that negotiate with band-aids, that don't attack the band-aids. You know what I'm talking about.
I know, exactly.
Don't kill the band-aids, that it will cause more trouble. This is a statement credited to a mediator in a bandit negotiator.
No, we can't call him a mediator.
That's what he calls himself.
He self-styled himself.
That is exactly what he calls himself. Again, are we dealing with a bigger problem that Nigerians don't understand or don't know?
No, I think, you see, let me tell you, Sheikh Gumi was very clear about why he's doing what he's doing, that the bandits are his kids and kin, that they are Muslims like him. That is essentially it. And you see, when you put that in front, it creates a lot of schisms. It creates a lot of fear. You know, a lot of moderate people who want to speak against it will be afraid because it will be termed as if they are speaking against their religion, since a sheikh has spoken. That is the essence of it. But unfortunately, Sheikh Gumi has not seen the dilemma he has put right-thinking Muslims. You see, that is why, in a way, I think it's an act of cowardice on their part. You know, because, down south, you see people across board, when something is, they call it out, regardless of whether they belong to the same faith or the same tribe as that particular, perpetrator happens to be. You understand? So, but you see, in its own case, I believe that the core Northerners have been very, very cowardly in calling out Sheikh Gumi. And gradually they are beginning to see that, you see, this banditry thing does not even leave anybody out. Christian, Muslim, animist, wherever, atheist, we are all involved somewhat. Are you going to tell me that all those people that were kidnapped in Eruku, all of them are Christians or they are Muslims or Muslims? You know?
All right, our time is fast spent, but let's have your closing thoughts and then we'll round off real quick.
Yeah, well, it's a very happy thing that, the girls have been released. It's a very good thing.
For the Nigerian people as well.
Yeah, for the Nigerian people. But of course, my heart goes out to people who lost their lives. But the only way federal government can give confidence is to allow for the law to take its course. Let's have people swinging, Let's have people swinging in the marketplace. Get culprits, prosecute them, and send them to jail.
Arrests be made. All right, then. Thank you so much for your analysis this morning. The views expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 the staff therein, but is expressed by our in-house analyst, Nicholas Uwerunonye. I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey.
And I am Adeyemi. Good morning.